The Wisconsin Badgers start their March Madness tournament run with an 85-66 victory over the Montana Grizzlies, a game that was never truly in doubt. It was a little bit closer than maybe people thought it would be for some parts, maybe. But I think, Riley, you told me Montana led for how many seconds in this game?
53 seconds. It was very much one of those like, ooh, Montana, dare I say Montana silly face?
Yeah.
Like Montana's hanging around, like they might be threatening, but I'm with you. It never felt in doubt, and I think that final margin of how often they were leading reflects that. And then, of course, when we got to probably what was it around the 14-minute mark in the second half, it was like this. That is where our Badgers came into play, where they started hitting their shots. I thought Blackwell was tremendous at getting drill penetration. They had no answer for that. The front court, like when you think about this Wisconsin team, I definitely think they have good size in a pretty deep front court, whether you're looking at, Stephen Crowell, obviously, but Nolan Winter, Carter Gilmore, Xavier Amos played a really good game in this one. I still don't think of it as like a front court that's going to overwhelm you with their athleticism, but compared to this Montana team, I mean, that's exactly what they did. They bullied them on the glass. They got a ton of points in the paint, and kind of when Blackwell started cooking as well, it was like, okay, it's time to pull the curtains on this one.
Yeah, Wisconsin is so efficient offensively from 2 point range.
Hmm.
Honestly, they're efficient from everywhere. But the one thing, and I was actually looking this up in the background, I kind of like this shot diet for Wisconsin. Like I talk about shot diet with a lot of Big Ten teams, but Wisconsin's another one. Like in the game, I want to say, let me check here. It might have been the Michigan game that they lost. They shot so many 3 pointers, right? Like
Hmm.
they got up, in the games that they won, the one they won against Michigan State, they shot 29 3 pointers, right? And that game was a little bit closer than I wanted it. I think this Wisconsin team sometimes can abandon the fact that they have, Blackwell and Tanji and then Winter and Crowd, like you said outside of the big men, they have guys that can get downhill. Tanji can get downhill, and Blackwell can get downhill as well. And this was just a very balanced kind of business-like approach to this. Unfortunately for Montana, when you're looking at teams trying to pull upsets, you got to hit the 3 point shot, right? You got to hit
Yeah.
the 3 point shot, and you got to have some special performances. And you just really didn't get it in this game. Their best player, Money Williams, only had 8 points. He was in foul trouble for a good part of this game. Only played 27 minutes, 8 shot attempts. He just wasn't really into the flow of the game in this one. But you got to have special performances, and for them to go 7 for 24 from three, that's just really not going to get it done.
Hmm.
Obviously, Wisconsin dominated them on the glass, given their size and kind of the Big Ten style of play. But I guess I'll ask you this. I think a lot of people look at this Wisconsin team and they just don't want to fully get there, right? Like it's like, okay, they're good, but I don't want to get there because it's Wisconsin. But then you look at all the metrics and this team is great defensively, they're great on offense. Like they have a All-American in John Tanji. John Tanji only had 5 shot attempts in this game and they won by
Yeah.
20. Like, and he got to the free throw line. That's what he does. It's one of the best parts of his game. What would you say to the folks who don't want to fully get there with Wisconsin, I guess?
I just think these last 2 years we've seen an offensive renaissance for Greg Gard that has me buying in. Last year I know I get any trepidation with that the loss to JMU where they looked really bad, and even back in 2022 that first round they were in a dogfight with Colgate. To some extent, I'm like maybe some of the sloppiness to start. This is just what Wisconsin does in their first tournament game. Maybe they just got to get the jitters out. That gets I guess by that argument, it gets kind of tougher to buy into since they haven't made the Sweet 16 since 2017. However, I just think when you look at the numbers, like top 20 offense the past 2 years, they move the ball so well. They have a variety of dudes who can get downhill, get into the paint, and kick out for three. And I thought when they pulled away, that's what they were doing, whether it was Blackwell getting to the rim, driving and dishing, or whether it was Crowell facilitating from the post. And again, having even if it's not the most athletic front court, having that versatility, someone like Nolan Winter, I'm a huge fan of Nolan Winter's game. I don't know how Wisconsin fans feel about him, if he's someone who they see the upside there. For me, when I watch that kid, I know he's just a sophomore, so it feels like he's scratching the surface of his potential as like a true floor spacer who's also a dog on the glass. And it's not that often that you see kind of a stretch four like that, whose bread and butter is more offensively, who's also like willing to get in the mud on the boards as well. And I think that's so valuable just to have that combination of like the floor spacing, the pace, the ball movement, but also they can get physical when they need to.
Yeah, this Wisconsin team is very kind of balanced when you look at it. To be honest, like you have the guard in John Blackwell, you have the wing in John Tonje. You got like these guys who are like kind of utility guys and Max Klesman and Carter Gilmore who just coming to give you something. Then you got two really good bigs who control the glass every single game.
Hmm.
And you're a team that can hit a lot of threes and hit a lot of shots from 2 point range. Now, you know, the one thing that scares you is that they go cold, but like that's basketball, right? Like they went cold against Michigan. They were, oh my gosh, they were 15 for 68 overall in that Michigan game and 7 for 39 from 3 point range. 39 3 point attempts. See, that's what I'm talking about. The shot diet. That's getting out of
Hmm.
control. Let's stay in the 20s. Let's attack. Let's take good threes. I think they did that in this basketball game, and in order to go to the places they want to go, I feel like they're going to have to do that, especially looking ahead here they got BYU up next, and that's going to be an offensive battle for sure.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like that game should have a ton of three pointers taken in general. Both like to jack threes, but I'm with you. I think I mean, Montana's not particularly good defensively. However, I still think there's something to glean from this that they win by 20 despite only hitting seven threes. And like Montana, they're well coached. Travis DeQuire has gotten the Grizzlies to the tournament. I believe this was his third or fourth berth. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but he was even someone like I covered Montana for the Almanac 2 years ago. RIP to the Almy. But like the way he described his philosophy is old school with new school tendencies. They are huge themselves on shot diet. They talk a lot about finding the best shot, playing into players' strengths, using like motion type concepts to where like he knows what he's doing in the Big Sky. And that's why it's not just like, oh, Wisconsin survived a poor shooting game and still won by 20 against like some bad low major. Like, no, Montana's had a pretty high standard of success in the Big Sky to where I'm more willing to give some credence to like they can build upon this. Now they're not going to have the physicality and size advantage over BYU, obviously, but it's still something that it's like, okay, we stuck to what makes us us. We leaned on our stars. Like you got great production from Crowell and Blackwell, played through them. And even, I don't know, I think like when you look at this box score and you see the 18 points from Crowell, the 19 from Blackwell, and then you see 9 free throw attempts from Tanji, that's what you want every single game. And yeah, that to me is like the takeaway for like, let's build on this. Let's keep replicating this formula until we can't anymore.
Yeah, and look, there was a lot of chatter about, Wisconsin and coming off the Big Ten tournament. They played, I think, 4 games in that tournament, maybe 3 games. I'm not really sure, but like it's a quick turnaround. They're coming out to this game, tired legs, things like that. And given all those things that were in this one, I feel like they came out ahead of business, like approaching this game, and were
Mhm.
able to secure the win. So now Wisconsin will move on to take on BYU. That'll be a really fun matchup. My Badgers versus my Mormons. I'm going to be torn, but it'll be a really fun game, and we will have that preview up on our channel as well as all recaps and previews for every NCAA March Madness tournament game here on Sleepers Media YouTube channel. It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.